Dear viewers, business letters are very much important nowadays. They are used in different situations, not only in the organizations, but also when you are writing a job application. The cover letter also falls in the category of business letter. Likewise, note of invitation, good news messages, bad news messages, letters of complaint, letter of appreciation. So there are many kinds which we are using in different capacities and different situations. So let us see what is a business letter, what are its parts, what are its qualities, and what are the types of common business letters. Business letter has 7 qualities. The first quality is called correctness. We can also call them 7 C's of letter writing. Correctness means whatever you are writing in the letter, that should be correct, the address should be correct, the date should be correct. If you are writing any complaint, nature of the complaint should be correct and exact. Likewise, the spellings, the tenses, the sentences. So these are the areas which you should consider after you complete your letter. Because once you are writing a letter, focus on the content, and once you complete your letter, then you focus on its editing and revision, adding and subtraction. The next one quality is the completeness. Completeness means that your message should be complete. It should not be incomplete. For example, if you bought a pair of shoes from a shop and then you find out that it has become defective within a week and you got its warranty, now you write down the name of the shop, the date when you made a purchase, receipt number, the article description, number of shoes, color of shoes, name of its company. So whatever information you are writing, it should be complete. Number one, it should be correct. Number two, it should be complete. Number three, conciseness. Conciseness means that you should avoid using literary language, idioms, proverbs, or phrasal verbs. You have to go for one word substitute. For example, if you got a computer and the CPU has developed problem, so instead of writing that my CPU or computing machine has developed wrong intentions or it has gone out of order, you be simple and write it has become defective, and then you write down the nature of defect. Concreteness means the words which you are using, they should be specific, they should not be vague. Instead of writing that my computer has developed defect, now you write down there's a problem in the software or hardware and what is the nature of that. You support your message with data. That's the concreteness. The words should be concrete. It should not be vague words or the words which are difficult to recall. Then clarity. Whenever you're writing, you should be clear. Your thoughts should be clear. You go for the brainstorming. You make out the points, then you make out the relevant points and you delete the irrelevant points. Where you are using more words, try to go for the short words, but it does not mean that you compromise on your clarity. Conciseness does not mean that you squeeze words, you use very short words, or you start using acronyms or abbreviations and your meaning is distorted. No. Conciseness means cut corners of your sentences where you can. Likewise, it will give clarity to the reader. Then courtesy. Even if you are angry, don't show your anger by using wrong words, by speaking ill of others. Be polite, be humble, and look for the solution. Offer a solution to the other person. And the seventh point, 7C, is consideration. Consideration means you attitude. You focus on the other person to whom you're writing. Be empathic. Go into the shoes of that person and find out where it pinches. So these are 7 C's of business letter, or we can call it the 7 qualities of business letter. Now, business parts of a business letter. So first of all, we are seeing what are the compulsory parts. Compulsory parts means those parts which are very much essential, and if you remove any of these parts, the letter will be incomplete. So these are 6 parts which are compulsory. Number 1 is heading. In a business letter, heading, like this one is the heading. Heading is the, because you are working in a company, and nowadays every company has its letterhead, so its address is written over here. So heading means the name of the company, its address, its telephone number, its location. And if you're a doctor and you are writing a letter to a hospital because you want to conduct some workshop for their medical students, so your name will come, your designation, your name will come, and then your email address, city, province, and country if you're sending it outside. So this is called heading. After heading, there is date, which is written on this side. Then there is the receiver address, which is written on this side. And after the receiver address, there is salutation, that is greeting. You greet, dear sir, respected sir, in business language. Even when we are writing a formal letter, it's customary to address the other person as dear sir. Then there's the body, the main part of your message. You write it down and then you give your signatures. So heading, date, receiver address, salutation, body, and signature, these are the compulsory parts of a business letter. Now, what are the optional parts? Optional parts, if you add them, they will give more clarity. If you do not add them, your letter will be okay. It's better to add them. For example, reference number or file number. If you're writing a letter, either you give the reference number of the other company to whom you are replying, or you give your file number if you're sending a letter first time. You can mark it as private and confidential. That means it will not be opened by every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and it will be opened by the person to whom the letter is addressed. Then there is the attention line. For example, you are writing a letter to Bata Company, Mrs. Bata Company, Batapur, Lahore, and then you write attention line, attention, and then you put colon, and then you write HR manager, or sales manager, or production in charge, or marketing manager. So attention line basically draw the attention of the relevant person. Then subject of letter. Although it is an optional part, but it is always advised to write the subject of the letter. Subject of the letter is written above the salutation, above the greeting. It is underlined, written normally in the capital letters. By reading the subject of your letter, the reader comes to know why you are writing, and the person makes up his or her mind. Then in the end, there is complimentary clause, and with a greeting. If you have missed any information, once your letter is complete and all parts are complete, you write PS, that is postscript. Postscript means one line or two lines which you missed to write in your message, but you later remembered. Now you do not want to rewrite everything. So it was customary when computers were not invented, when there were typewriters. So it was very difficult to rub the entire letter or tear it down and start writing another letter. So they just added postscript PS and then they wrote that message. Name and designation. Similarly, if you're enclosing and attaching something, some document, some reference letter, so you write enclosure. If it's one, if it's more than one, you write enclosures. One enclosure, two enclosure, three enclosures. So you write enclosure colon 01, 02 or 03. And then in some of the companies, if the CEO is writing a letter, the typist name is written at the end. So these are the optional parts of a business letter. This is not very clear, but you can find out that here it is the letterhead or the type message or heading. Here is the date, it is the inside address, subject lines comes over here. Here is the salutation, then this is the body. Here is the signature area, here is the sincerely, it is the complimentary clause, and here it is the typist's name, and it is the file number. So you remember from which file the letter was written, and next time if you want to respond, you simply go to the file. It's for your ease. Now coming towards the types of business letter, there are many types of business letters, but here I'm talking about very common types of business letter like letter of complaint, letter of resignation, note of thanks, letter of recommendation, resume cover letter, or it can be notification of error when error is corrected. Thank you letters are also under the category of note of thanks. So I hope that you have got an introduction to what is a business letter, what are the qualities of a business letter, what are the compulsory parts of a business letter, what are the optional parts of a business letter, and finally what are the common types of business letter. For anything, any query, you can mention it in the comments and I will be happy to reply to your query. Thank you all.